What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Welcome back to the Journey to Incredibles 2. We are skyrocketing through this Pixar review series. We've reviewed a bunch of great Pixar movies already, and it's just continuing with this movie right here that I'm going to be talking about. That is Up. Up came out in 2009. It was directed by Pete Docter, and it has the characters of Carl Fredricksen, voiced by Ed Asner, as well as Russell, Kevin, Doug, Ellie, and the villain Charles Muntz, voiced by the great Christopher Plummer. As always, guys, we do have a special guest talking about Up with me. That is Jared Buckendahl. Jared's going to give you his thoughts on Up first, then I'll give you my thoughts right after. So, Jared, take it away.
What's up, guys? Jared here, and what the heck is this place? I'm on the wrong channel again. What's up, guys? Jared here with another guest review, and first things first, Ryan, thank you for inviting me over to your channel and doing this review with you. This is awesome. This is our first collaboration video. Hopefully it's not our last, but anyways, let's get into it. I'm sure a lot of folks have already seen Pixar's Up, but here's a quick overview. Up is the beloved 2009 Pixar film that follows a young boy by the name of Carl Fredricksen. He has a thirst for adventure and idolizes famous explorer Charles F. Muntz. Carl later befriends a young girl by the name of Ellie, who also has the same taste for adventure. They eventually get married and decide it's their dream to follow their fellow explorer Muntz and make a trip to Paradise Falls. However, over and over again, life gets in the way. Isn't that relatable? And the trip is postponed. Finally, Carl takes it upon himself to make the trip, using their house as a makeshift airship using thousands of balloons. After taking flight, Carl realizes that a young wilderness explorer named Russell has mistakenly joined him on this adventure, and all sorts of shenanigans go down. So Up is this unique Pixar film, and I remember watching it like years after its initial release, and I was floored by the story. Mind you, this is an adventure tale of two unlikely people coming together and having to put aside their differences to work together. That's nothing new. We've seen that before, but the emotion and serious stuff in this movie, that's what really got me. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the opening 10 to 15 minutes of this movie is nothing short of heartbreaking. Hold on, am I still watching a children's movie? Not only one serious aspect, but another one? Pixar, what are you doing? You're killing me here! If you aren't drawn to tears, I don't know what to think. Another thing that stood out in this film was squirrel! Sorry, another thing was the score. I hadn't noticed it on the initial viewing of this movie, but after watching it a few more times, it's definitely a prominent part of this movie because the opening 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, there's really no speaking from our main character, but rather the score and visuals on screen that's kind of flowing with the story. It really adds this emotional aspect to the movie, and especially what's on screen. Pixar movies are always family friendly and really fun, and Up is no exception. There are a lot of funny moments that really have me laughing and smiling throughout this movie. Any interaction between Carl and Russell was hilarious, and it's all because of Russell. They also do a couple of these daydreaming kind of scenarios and then flashing back to what really happened, which I thought were really entertaining. But when all the dogs show up, especially Doug, that's when things get really good.
My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
The fact that all of these dogs can really talk, but still act like an actual dog and have the commentary of a dog was really entertaining. Also, the alpha dog
and the cone of shame. Hey, what the heck happened to my voice? I shouldn't be sounding like this.
Hey, that's much better.
Now, I will say that Up kind of felt like it was rushed, or the pacing was a little bit off. The opening took its time, it was emotional, and it really set the mood for the movie. And then boom, 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 we have Paradise Falls, we have Kevin, the dogs, Muntz, and then the end. It just felt like everything was kind of smushed together and it was rushed through. It's not a huge negative. This movie is still a great Pixar film. Overall, Up is a really fun Pixar movie that really hits you hard in all of the emotions. With a surprisingly emotional story, a wonderful score, some fun characters, and even better humor, but maybe some pacing issues that didn't really work, I would highly recommend watching Up. Be sure to have a box of tissues next to you because you're gonna cry hard. What did you think of Up? Is this one of your favorite Pixar films, or is this sort of in the lower tier of the Pixar family? Ryan and I want to hear about it in the comments below. As always, you can find me on the social medias at Jared Buckendahl on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Stardust. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and my channel as well. Now back to Ryan. Squirrel!
What the heck? How did Jared get in my room? I'm just kidding. Jared, thank you so much for joining my channel for the first time, man. Guys, if you don't know who Jared Buckendahl is, he's a great YouTuber. His channel link is in the description below. He does a lot of movie reviews, just like me, and I just love his personality. He's a really cool guy. So Jared, absolutely will have more collaborations in the future. You rock, buddy. Now, I've seen Up 3 times already, and there's something more to this film that I love each time I rewatch it. I think it's a very creative Pixar film, and it's, I think, one of Pixar's most mature and darkest animated films for sure. This film's fantastic, well told, well directed by Pete Docter, filled with great characters in it. So let's talk about the positives for Up. I love all the characters in Up. Carl Fredricksen, he's a really grumpy old man at first because you know what happens. I'll talk about that in the next positive. But Carl Fredricksen, he has a fun side to him, and he's just a lovable character, well voiced by Ed Asner, Santa Claus from Elf, as well as Russell. He gets kind of, seems like he could be an annoying character, but no, Russell does become a great character, very funny as well, great chemistry with Carl, and there's two animal side reliefs in Kevin and Doug, very funny as well. Kevin is just freaking Kevin, hilarious bird, and Doug as well, lovable dog, squirrel! But I think the best part about Up is the story that it tells. And with Carl Fredricksen, there's something about his character that is grumpy, and that is the opening scenes of Up. Seeing Carl Fredricksen as a young boy, he loves pilots. His favorite pilot is Charles Muntz, and of course he goes to Paradise Falls, and of course he's trying to find this bird that nobody believes he can find, but Carl is just in love with planes. That's where he meets Ellie. Up has the best opening 10 minutes I've seen in an animated film. It just breaks your heart when you see Ellie die in this movie. It's so freaking sad. It gets me every single time. The music and just that whole montage, it's no dialogue. It's just visual storytelling. And it's just beautiful. That was genius from Pete Docter. And it sets you right into this film. And the reason why I say the story's amazing is this guy, Carl Fredricksen, fulfills a promise to Ellie of bringing his house to Paradise Falls. I mean, his house has 10,000 balloons up top, and he's going to fly himself to Paradise Falls. That's very creative of a story, and I think that's very ambitious. Seeing the house fly for the first time is incredible. The animation looks fantastic, and it's just really cool to see the house flying up in the air, because that's something you've never seen before. Now let's talk about one aspect that was kind of iffy on the first time I watched it. That's the villain, Charles Muntz, voiced by Christopher Plummer. I like Charles Muntz more as a villain now. I can see why he feels the way he feels. He wants to bring this bird, Kevin, back to the U.S. He was disembarked from his piloting job. And I think he's a very ambitious, creepy villain. And I think Christopher Plummer is a great voice for him. And he's pretty cool of a villain. He does die kind of easily, though. That's kind of a gripe I have, but really good villain. Now, is Up a perfect film? No, it's not. And let's talk about the negatives that I found with Up. I think the biggest negative I have is the third act. Sometimes it gets really cheesy with these talking dogs. Yeah, the talking dogs, I think, is the biggest flaw I have with Up. Plus, some of the dogs fly the planes. It's like straight out of Dunkirk, like World War II vibes. But I think it does save itself at the end when Russell finally gets the pin from Carl, gives him the grape soda pin from Ellie, the Ellie badge. That was a sweet moment right there. Really great ending. I really loved Up. There's really not a lot of things I hated about the film. It's just a well-made film. Great story to it, great characters, great direction, a very ambitious, creative film that tugs at your heartstrings, and it's just a fun adventure. And Up, I really do appreciate it a lot more watching it 3 times. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Up a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Very good film. It's not perfect, but it's just one of Pixar's most classic films. So there you have it, guys. That was my thoughts on Up. Of course, let me know your guys' thoughts on Up. Did you love it, think it was okay, or did you absolutely hate it? Thank you once again, Jared Buckendahl, for joining me to talk about Up. And up next, guys, in our filmography for Pixar is going to be Toy Story 3. And joining me for Toy Story 3 is Mr. J. 1 goddamn % Vaders. look forward to that review coming up next. Thank you guys as always for watching this review, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.